Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's conversation. I got Antoine McClain on here. Dude, pumped to have this conversation. Like we had to end the pre-recording conversation so that we can get all the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the funny shit on. So as always, we open up wild funny story. What you got?
Wow, funny story. So my junior year, this is 2010. Um, every football, college football, we know before the game you got pregame meal and you got chapel and all that. So this particular day, usually everybody kind of mows down, at their own section, like their roommates or whatnot. So at this particular point, we play in Georgia Tech, I think, at 3:30 or it's at 12 o'clock, one of them. And I think it was 3:30. So I'm going to the elevator. And I feel like it stopped on every floor. And keep in mind, I'm 330 at the time. My roommate, David Smith, is about 320. Basically, our whole D offensive line is about 300 pounds and up. We probably had two or three guys that were like 290. So it stopped on every floor until like the floor three. I'm not on floor six. On floor three, like it looked like every offensive defensive line was on that elevator. And then the biggest guy on the team about to get on. Everybody was like, no. And he looked at us like, man, y'all crazy. Move. We was like, bro, we already filled up. So he's like, well, so y'all better get off, niggas. I'm not getting off. He gets on, and lo and behold, the next floor, the elevator gets stuck.
Oh shit.
This is probably like 5 minutes before a pregame meal. So we like, I'm gonna be fine. So we ringing the bell. Nobody's like coming. So it's like starting to get hot. And it's 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 literally like 12 people on this elevator that's over 300 pounds. And I mean, it was kind of funny though, because some guys was freaking out. Some guys were like, we had one funny guy, he would start going off on his little tangent. We like, all right, bro, like chill out. We don't want to hear all that.
Yeah.
So and one dude was getting claustrophobic and he was freaking out, and that was probably the funniest thing. But it started getting hot. So we was like, all right, bro, we've been in here about almost an hour now. Like, where's the help? So lo and behold, man, the fireman comes and we had to like climb under the elevator to get out or whatnot. We literally the bus is gone. They'd already done got to the stadium.
Oh damn.
So they have a bus come pick us up. We get to the stadium. They are literally running down the hill, and four of the starting offensive linemen are not there, and two stars of the defensive line are not there. We're literally running in there eating Gatorade bars and drinking Gatorade, and putting our clothes on, and literally before the kickoff, we literally ran on the field. But that was probably one of the crazy. I tell the story every year when I have my first year event I have. I always tell that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, that was kind of funny because they started to see all these tough guys get real quiet. We all was like,
Oh
all
shit,
right, come
man.
over. Like, all right, come on. We literally like, bro, we missed pregame meal. Oh man, the bus is leaving. So the fire department came and got us out. But man, on the bus, we was like, bro, like, but I was kind of like, man, it is what it is, bro. We
Yeah.
ain't making the paper and all that, but we end up winning the game by a lot. But man, I ain't gonna never forget that moment. That's probably one of the funnest, craziest times of my life.
Oh shit, dude. So before we were talking, you mentioned you're from Alabama, from Birmingham. What tell me about, I guess, kind of like your journey from Bama to Clemson, and then just kind of like along the way, obviously like NFL and kind of like into player development now. It's like, how did like, I mean, hell, how did this just whole thing come about? Right. I guess just kind of like walk through the timeline.
So I started. I knew as like a kid, about around 3 or 4 years old, I was gonna play football. Not knowing that, I mean, knowing that I was the biggest person in my class or whatnot. Um, but yeah, man, I kind of knew. I was my first game I ever saw was the Colts versus the Saints, and I remember watching it on TV. But anyways, yeah, man. So I always wanted to work hard. My brother was an athlete, so my brother's kind of my role model in that aspect. Seeing him, so I got all the cheat codes. So I was a little bit
Yeah.
advanced. Once the light bulb went off, I was a little bit more advanced than my friend was because I had a college athlete and state champion track. And my brother's from South Carolina, but he ended up moving with us his senior year of high school. That's from my dad's first marriage. So, anyways, long story short, I like work hard. I bust my ass and make sure I got all my grades and stuff done. But I always had this vision of me playing somewhere. So about like 10th grade, I started getting all the like FBS, smaller schools, HBC
Mm-hmm.
schools or whatnot. And I remember I remember going to my first kind of visit. I went to Daytona Bethune-Cookman. And it was a wild time on campus. And my mom was like, "You enjoy this weekend. You're not coming here." But that Ole Miss ended up offering me at the end of my junior year, and then end of my junior year, I kind of exploded, man. I went to a Nike camp in Atlanta, did a great job there, got some traction, and then I started. Crazy story. My coach Bullock was my defense coordinator, and he was our strength conditioning coach in high school. So I knew that I didn't know how it worked with the sending out tape. So I would go cut grass, get the money I got for cutting grass, buy VHS tapes, and then my coach made like 12 copies of them for me. I want to cut some more grass, pay for the postage and all that stuff, and then I sent them out. And then I remember one day working out off season, and my coach was like, "Hey, you got mail from school." I mean, I've been getting letters from colleges for a long time, but it was just camp letters and stuff and whatnot.
Right.
Ole Miss came with an offer, then Auburn, and I was actually Coach Saban's first recruit. He came to see once he got the job, and then
Ah,
after that, man, it was like every day. I had a lobby full of coaches. It was like, and then it got to one point, man, that I was like in the newspaper every day. I'm offensive lineman and defensive lineman, and I play a little fullback and tight end and all that. But I'm a lineman, but so I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, I blew up, and then I ended up, getting an invite. So I remember when I kind of made it. I was in. It was the end of my junior year. This was an award ceremony going to, before everybody go off to school and the school ends. So the Army always come and like give awards, and
oh
then I
hell yeah.
like who's going to be like going into their program and whatnot. So and I'm in that about half sleep. I ain't getting no award, man. Like come on. And I remember it got real quiet and I'm dozing off, bro. And then I remember then the guy was like, our last thing before I leave, where's Antoine McClain? And everybody was like, "Oh, you go to the Army, you getting drafted to the Army." I was like, "Whoa." Go on stage in front of the whole school, man. He was like, Antoine is one of the top, 100 players in the country. Had a great couple of years of high school ball. Been watching him a long time. So we wanted to take this time to let you know that he's one of the I guess it's the top 100 kids, but we are extending the offer to him to play in the U.S. Army game. I'm like, whoa! Everybody went crazy, dog. It was crazy. So I was like, wow. So after that, man, I'm starting getting offers and offers and offers. I ended up with about 45 offers and whatnot, but ended up going to Clemson because Coach Sweeney, he came during my senior year. But I hear that name a lot because I remember Steve Christopher played quarterback at Alabama. He talking about Dabo Sweeney. Anyways, I heard that name a lot, and then he came to visit for a day and we kicked it and whatnot. We talked for a bit. But man, my guy was just persistent, man. He kind of he ended up getting to my mom because I was
Well,
like it was between LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn. Clemson came late. Came not late, but they came like, late in the recruiting. So
right.
this guy been hounding me all year, hounding me, popping up at my job, popping up at my house, coming to school. But like every time he would come, he'll be telling some stuff I need to get better. And he have it all like written out, like, hey, you need to be doing boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then he kept talking about this kid, Jamie Harper, Jamie Harper, Jamie Harper. I'm like, all right, man. And then I remember before we went to go play in the on-number game, well, it was ESPN, they came on-number game that they sent like a disc of all the guys who are going to play in it, like all the top like 150. And I saw him. I said, that kid look big. And I said, wait, that's Jamie Harper? I was like, wow. So, anyways, lo and behold, we get to the on-number game. It's kind of like that Spider-Man. It's you, like you. And then both say at the same time. You're the one because we talking about at the same time. So we hit it off then, and then all the Clemson guys that was hanging out together, and I kind of knew guys that were thinking about going. And Clemson was like, they wasn't like they did have a great season. They just played Auburn in that bowl game we watched, and then my buddy kept talking about it or not. So I was like, fine, I'm gonna give him a visit. So like and half the damn team was committed to Clemson and whatnot. So I go out there, man. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And the one thing that I did saw was a lot of former players was like, talking about their time there and their kid was getting recruited. So I met a lot. So I saw that the camaraderie they had. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was an hour away from my brother too. That kind of was like one of the staples. But I still I still loved LSU, man, and all the other schools. So I was like, all right, cool. But then kept talking with Harper or whatnot, and then I asked him the night before signing day, like, where school are you going to? And he asked me, uh, I said, well, I'm going to the big C. He was like, well, I'll see you there. That was it. Hung the phone up. I committed that morning, and I
Damn.
went to go see my boy Jarrell commit to Alabama, and all those guys go to Alabama and Gaston. And then I remember watching, because I think mom was televised on ESPN early then, because mom was early. And then I watched him. I said, yes, he went. So I was like, cool. So I remember Coach Sweeney calling me. He was like excited talking. It was a big party or whatnot because I kind of wanted to like big name offensive lineman to go
Right, right.
on time. So, but our
Did he
class,
know? Did he? At what point did he know that you were committed there, Coach
cool.
Sweeney?
No, I didn't commit to signing day.
So he had no idea up until you made the announcement.
No,
Damn.
he probably had an idea because like one weekend I had to finish my AC. I had to like take my ACT again because I already paid. I already got my score, but we done already paid for it. So my mom like, no, you gotta go. She paid for the prep and the class. So she was like, no, you gonna go take that where I paid the money. So instead of me going on my last visit to whatever school I was gonna go to, my mom went to Clemson, and I was like, it's a wrap. They're gonna get her. I already know it.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Game
wanted to see it
over.
for herself because she done been everywhere else. She's just never been to Clemson. So they ended up going up there, and my mom was like, that's a great school, and Coach Sweeney loves you, and all. All right, yeah, but it's all good. But I kind of wanted to go somewhere, to be honest, bro. I know, like that first year, everybody wanted to go to Bama and whatnot. All my buddies was going, Julio, Jarrell, like all them guys was going, and we've been knowing each other since like ninth grade. But I was like, I never was the one that wanted to follow the crowd. Like I knew they're gonna
Yeah,
do good things, but I kind of wanted to go somewhere where I can change the culture.
yeah.
And I knew that I didn't want to follow that because we always was together all the time. I was like, all right, bro, we're gonna get in trouble. Not get in trouble, but like, it's kind of
But get in trouble.
we're gonna like, but anyways, long story short, ended up going to Clemson, loved it. We changed the culture like we said we
Yeah,
was gonna do. Um, and then ended up going. I went undrafted to the Ravens, won Super Bowl my first year, played with all the greats: Ray Lewis, Eric Reed, Darnell Ellerbe, Terrell Suggs, Michael Orr, Brian McKinney, Matt Burt, Tyrod Taylor. Man, we had Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Vontae Leach. We had a squad, man. That was probably like be like some of the best veterans I've been around in my life because
yeah,
man, these guys all established. They all had one come and go. And I kind of knew it because I watched the Ravens every year until my senior year, like get to there, get to there. So like even though I got a few calls in a couple of late rounds, like fourth and fifth round, but I remember Baltimore calling me like, look, bro, the draft about over. We are picked a lot of people. But we want to extend you an invite as a high priority draft free agent. You come in here and do your thing. You can make this club. So that was sold up for me. So go
yeah,
there and play 2 years, Super Bowl ring. I bounced around a little bit. I went to Oakland after Baltimore. Got traded to Buffalo. Was there a year and a half. I love Buffalo because my family's out there. So
mm,
a great experience to be around my family all the time, and them coming to games. We having a great environment afterwards, and I love the cold. So after Buffalo, I bounced around, had a few cups of coffee and places, and then my last 2 years, I was in Arizona, and then after that 2016-17 season, I played a year Canadian ball, then I hung it up. So we go from football into the abyss and figuring out like what I'm gonna do. Like I didn't understand
yeah.
transferable skills. I didn't realize that I had what it takes that every employer needs. So, anyways, and I didn't really have a resume; just had football on there. And then
Right. Yeah, yeah.
my dad's
And
business,
cutting grass.
yeah, and working at Exactly. But
Yeah,
no, man, GCU took a chance on me. I got the opportunity through a legend, NFL legend from the Cardinals, who was actually doing an autograph sign. I had moved back to Arizona after I finished playing, and we did an autograph sign. This guy named Jerome Dames, man, like bro, if you see this, man, I love you to death. Thank you for everything you've done for me. So he's like a big wig at GCU, and in his department was enrollment counselor. So I ended up starting at the bottom with the nursing department. Did a great job there. But I think I was so blessed in my journey to do that because I had a chance to learn the office space. I
yeah,
had a chance to learn office politics and learn, how I'm viewed, from a former player standpoint into being a professional. I learned, just everything it is about to have a, corporate job. I was blessed to do that for a year, and then Harry Swain, my director of player engagement from the Ravens, we stayed in touch the whole time throughout my journey and throughout teams I was on. And he asked me what I wanted to do, and I said I wanted to do something within player development because I didn't want to coach at all. I was coaching, but I was in Arizona. I was like, this is fun, but I'm going home
Yeah.
tonight. And so side note, one Super Bowl with the Super Bowl league, and also two, I coached semi-pro for 2 years. So I was like, yeah, coaching is cool, but I'm good. Anyways, go to New York, man, and player engagement department. That 6 months internship turned into a year and a half. COVID hit, and they let all of us go. All the loyalty. They didn't know what was
Yeah.
going to go on, and they, nobody was in the office. So once they figured it out, anyway. So but I will say, bro, we can talk about the pandemic because that was a blessing for me. The pandemic was, but we can talk about that later. But um, go to University of Tennessee as a 9 month post grad internship. Interviewed for the UNC Charlotte Student Athlete Development job. Got that role. 2 days into that role, I don't know. Moved in. I'm getting settled. I'm about to start. I'm about to get ready to start my shift. I'm gonna start my time there, and then I'm going to go figure out where I park at. I'm an office lineman. We hate being late. So I go there the night before, see where I park at. And as I'm driving there, Coach Swinney called. And Coach Swinney is like, he's a texter, man. He loves his former players, but when Coach Swinney call you, bro, you may want to answer the phone.
Yeah.
He stays in contact with us, but he's a texter. But when
Yeah. Yeah.
so he called, offered me the role I'm in now, bro, and I'll be going on my fourth season this year.
So, because it's kind of a hodgepodge, right? It's player development and like what is it,
So I
alumni
got
engage.
so my title is the director of former player engagement and development, which is under Paul Journey, which is our player relations department. But yeah, bro. So I service our former players, been a lifeline for those guys, and then I'm still have my player development hat on because I do a lot of programming for our current scholar athletes, and then I fundraise. And this past year, I raised $1.7 million
Damn. Yeah.
for our department and the betterment of our former players. And yeah, man. So yeah, I have it's a very odd different role, but I love what I do. So whenever I become an AD or anything like that, I'll have all those under my umbrella.
Totally. Totally. What's been your based off of like obviously you've had experiences across the board from success in high school, like almost pop-up success, right? It was like all of a sudden all the articles and the headlines are about you, and then going to college and then going pro and then being in kind of a corporate world, knowing the office space. And so as you kind of came in with the player development side of things, is like what's been your like, okay, like if I can get this across to them in like 4 years, what is like that you kind of want to?
Well, I know that theme from this from my role from the director of former overtime from my pillars overtime, which is former players, is the reason why this role was created. One, Sweeney loves his former players, but two, there's always been a stigma about how football guys go to the league and then never return and give it back to the university. We had
Mm,
guys that do it because they understood it because somebody grabbed them. But we didn't know what Ibte is our athletic fundraising development office. We didn't know what Ibte. We just knew Ibte stands for I pay 10 a year and they pay for our scholarships. We wasn't educated on like what does Ipte do? And everybody think when Ipte come around, it's about asking for money.
yeah.
So my role, I give them the whole picture of
Mm,
being a resource and getting a return, on your gift, whether that's money, time, treasure, or resources. So basically, man, we got a bunch of guys that get it now. We had Will Shipley and KJ create an endowment as current scholar athletes and to betterment of Paul Journey, which is our player development, and then retention for those underprivileged kids that come, like a lot of first generation kids who can't afford to come at the next semester, and also too our Lady Tiger Sports. So that's kind of they got the idea that trickled down to a lot of guys now want to do the same thing. And once they go, they understand now when they leave, hey, I'm going to be a donor. But they understand too, being a donor is I'm giving my resources and my time and anything that I can back into Clemson because the return on investment is continue to build more and have more. So, once, I'm gone, Coach Sweeney gone, Jeff Davis is gone, that it's gonna always be something there to develop our Tigers, man.
Yeah, yeah. What do you feel like is so it's interesting, like whenever I walk into, I'm curious of like whenever I walk into like a team that I'm working with, I always ask them, I'm always like what's the number one like emotion that you're trying to deal with like right now, right? And then like 99.999% of the time is it's like either stress, anxiety, or feeling overwhelmed, right? And so I'm curious from your perspective is it similar or is it more because nowadays it's like I almost feel like it could potentially be it could be stress, but it could be from a different angle, right? Like it could be from the angle of like now you have an NIL deal worth $1 million and everybody wants to come at you. Everybody wants to be your friend now, right? Like all of a sudden you got 1 million followers on TikTok and everybody's like, bro, we're homies. And it's like, no, we're not, man. Like, and
Yeah.
so like I'm curious of like what are some of those like inner dynamics that like you've had to deal with the guys and like what's new and different from like obviously, there again, there is NIL, there is more. I mean, social is just freaking blowing up every time we blink, every time we wake up, right? So just kind of curious of some of those like inside perspectives.
I gotta say, bro, like, from our last two mid-year classes that came in January, which is damn near half the roster already coming early now. Everybody wants to get there early. Um, the athlete is a sophisticated person now. Like they understand brand management from
Mhm.
their aspect. They understand entrepreneurship already because it's so easy to do now. They're not as gullible, as people may think
Yeah,
they are. Like they may play, but like you can't be that great at a complex sport and be, like they call like the dumb job. Like
yeah, yep, yep.
that narrative is out of here. Even from like the worst recruit, they are very
Right.
aware of what's going on. So, and I think for us, what we do in Paul Journey is help them, you know, help empower them to make the right decisions and speak their mind and have healthy conversations and build their confidence. Because, yeah, you might have been a man, you might have been that guy around the country and around the world, but here, like, you're going to have to work for your starting role. And I think, some guys, with the portal now, it's like, well, no, you got to earn it now. So, helping our guys, man, just understand the man and that the man will help deal with any obstacle that they're dealing with. So we don't have too many crazy issues, but we probably, from our standpoint, but we already come in empowering guys and approaching those guys with brand management, understanding
Yeah.
tactics, understanding you have a voice. How do you do that voice? How do you use your voice? And how do you be receptive to criticism and what that looks like. And if you're not mad because you're not playing, this goes for school and football. I'm just using football right now. If I'm not playing, giving them the confidence to go talk to the coach. Hey, I'm not playing. Why am I not playing? And then when he tell you that, how do you receive that and what are you going to do to work on that? So helping our guy understand the whole dynamic within that. So that's probably for me, from what I've seen, the biggest thing is guys coming in, it's like they get frustrated maybe because they're not coming in and getting the playbook off the bat. But I want to tell them, bro, that's the object they're trying to break you. So, you know, but it's a lot different when we played, man. But I would just say those things are kind of the things we hit them with when they first get there.
Yeah, I think too, it's like trying to get them to understand again, it's like speaking up, but like I feel like a lot of times, like when I like have helped athletes, I'm like, hey, like this is how you approach the conversation. And they're like, well, like I can't they view it as controversy instead of conversation. And I'm like, bro, it's not fucking controversy. It's literally, it's like it's knowing your own value and saying, like, hey, like I'm just confused. Help me get some clarity here.
So how
Right.
do I say
Like,
that to my coach who's on my ass every day, who's on everybody's ass every day, or I get a nickname because I'm a rookie now. Say the nicknames that some of these guys may have. But like, how do I skip all that and say, hey, coach, I realize that I'm not playing as much as I should be. What am I doing wrong? Instead of like barking at me, he can talk to me in a normal tone now because I'm not in front of my colleagues and teammates now because they are paid employees now. So, and then being sincere with your coach to say, hey, bro, I'm not getting it. Like one thing they always tell me, son, get the concept. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Get the concept. But now that I'm done, I get it. So now I'm telling these guys, look, bro, if you learn the concept of what he's trying to teach you, then you will get it. Forget the play, learn the concept. And like I apply it to life now. It's like I never approached stuff like this, bro, until I got grown. It was like, all right, what is the object of what we're doing? Why we're doing? Because we grew up is we never asked our parents why, we just had to do it.
Yep.
Now these kids want to know why we're doing
Because I said so, damn it. That's
yeah, no, like now we're doing it because like we understand why. Okay, now that I know why, you can get more out of me versus saying because I said so, or like why are you making this hard for me? Tell me why. If I understand why you're making it hard for me, okay, it's for me to grow and get better and to give myself confidence. Okay, cool. I get it. I'm building myself back up now. So just helping those guys understand that. I know for us too, man. For even for me, like being in college journey, being back and working in, I'm like, wow, some stuff I need to work on too myself. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so, but to your point, that's what we telling like you convey to the guys.
And like I think too is I always say like psychology works even if you know it's being done to you. It's why you can go into a store and it says 50% off and you still pay way overpriced for some shit because you just see it as 50%
Right.
off. And so it's like for athletes, I think that when you go in and have those conversations, it shows that you care, and every coach wants to coach somebody that cares, right?
Right.
To be
I
curious.
love football.
Yes, yes. And so it's like again, it's like there's a psychological aspect to it. It's like if you can walk in there and go present yourself and be like genuinely interested in this, then they're going to want to coach you more, no matter how good or bad you are, because it just shows that you care. And so it's like that's what like in the old days they'd call it brown nosing and sucking up, right? But
Yeah.
like now it's just like it's being smart, it's being intelligent.
No, it's being like, yo, I want to know. It's like to your point, even with teachers, they always tell us, the aspect of like people do our work. People don't do our work. Like we dog, like I don't know where that narrative came from. But like it's impossible for somebody to do your work and you not get in trouble for it. Because they
Right,
know
right.
you. But when we tell guys to go talk to your professor, like, hey, bro, I'm not getting it, then I'm not saying he's gonna make it easier for you. He can help you. But that's what everybody else is doing. So I never understood where that narrative came from. So it's like if you go to class and you not sitting up front, whatever with that sitting up front stuff. He see you every day, you're a big guy. He gonna see you being focused every day, and he see you being focused. He know who you is.
Yep.
They know who you are.
Yep.
So if you see you being focused and you trying every day, and then you go to him like, "Hey, I'm not getting it. I know we about close to midterms. I'm still not getting it." Then I say he gonna be lenient with you. He gonna help you figure out. All right, what is it that you're not getting, and then he gonna work with you versus just like flunking the class or just getting out of the classroom. So, but yeah, man, it goes both ways.
It's funny you say that. Literally last week, my own, like my personal mentor and coach is he goes, all right, starting next week. And I've been around him for a little over a year now. And he's like, starting next week, he's like, we're going to take attendance to who shows up. And he's like, now, like, if you don't show up, he's like, I'm not going to kick you out of like our program or anything. He goes, but he goes, if you come to me with a question, the first thing I'm going to look at is how often you're showing up here to class. And he goes, if you're not showing up, then I'm going to go start showing up to the calls, right? Like he goes, but if you're showing up and you're not getting it, he's like, I'm going to give you special treatment. Like I'm going to help you out. I want you to win, but
All
like
right.
you got to show up. You got to like put
Yeah.
your own effort into it.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
just think I was never, my coaches was hard on me. I feel like every authority figure I've had, they always been super, even the ones that love on me, they always be super hard on me. Like my coaches that was took me on their wing when they practice, like, hey, bro, you need to speak up. I'm like, huh? What? Or like my dad was always on me and like, Jesus Christ, but now that's what I see because some of the stuff I feel like it was just overkill, but now I get it and it helped me. I mean, I ain't gonna admit to my daddy to help me because some of the stuff. My thing is like this, bro. I get it. Like I'm not gonna do that to my kids or in the future, whatnot. But I feel like I get why because they saw something in me. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, but I'm still like, all right. But some of that stuff was overkill. Coaches too. I be like, just because they don't. Because if it wasn't overkill, why did they don't do it no more? Because somebody had to go and say something. Like even
Yeah.
with moving over now, when you get done running, scientists say that is good for your lungs. But what we say is, oh, you showing your weakness. No, I'm catching my breath, dummy.
Yeah. Well, and think about, okay, now that you're in the role too, is I wonder how many guys, and not literally strangle, but like how many guys that do you like see that it's just like, if you'll just listen to me, like, oh my God, like kind of like what you're saying is like how certain people were harder on you because they saw a certain level of like greatness, whatever you want to call it, right? Like inside of you. And so there was that like constant
Mm.
pressing, I guess, pushing to be able to like maximize their full potential. Cause it's like, man, like some of the teams even that I'm around, I'm like, bro, y'all have no idea how good you are. Like if you saw what I saw in you, like you would you would not be able to tell yourself anything because you'd be so arrogant.
Right. That's probably why they keep us like that because they don't want us to be like, you know, because I've been around players, bro, who knew what they were talking about, but they felt like with the coach, he was overkill. And it's like, bro, we gotta do all that. And I get it. And then he would always ask him a question, he'd get it right. And then he'd be like, I ain't, but he'll show up late to practice, be like, bro, we don't need to do all that. Just come on, man. Like, come on. Blow the whistle, bro. I got it. So there are guys like that too that they know, like, bro, I'm gonna give you everything I got. They gonna beat everybody supposed to be. They're gonna like make plays. They're gonna like take care of their body, but they just may not be the best practice players. Like, bro, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be there. But some coaches don't get that. Some of them know because some coaches were like that when they were players. They just see like,
Yep.
I can't let you do it because I gotta let him do it. But if he do it, he gonna really mess up. We get you know it, but just help us out. So
Yeah. Well, it's the same. Like some of the teams that I'm around, it's like I guess let's just call a spade a spade. Let's put it out there. It's like some people can like go out. Some people can like party and show up and still do their job. And then there's
basketball. Basketball, man. I remember I was playing in the league. We'll be out on after the game on Sunday, and we'll see them like, bro, don't y'all play tomorrow? They be in there, but then they'll play it. They'll go ball out. Like Shaq was like, bro, all I need is I go shoot out. I'll be out all night, go shoot around, take me 4 hours of sleep before the game, and I'm good. Some people, that's basketball's like that because they don't have to bang and bang and bang. They just shoot. They hooping.
yeah. And then it's the ones that get Shaq, right? Like you're not gonna tell Shaq, like, hey bro, you can't party anymore. I'm gonna bench you. It's kind of
Right. You
like
get fired doing that.
yeah, hell yeah.
Fire you, bro. We saw them. What's the show? Winning Time. You saw what happened. The guy kept complaining. Michael Johnson kept Magic kept complaining about this. He wanted to play on the team. They listened to him, and then what happened? His ass got fired.
Yeah, that is like the tricky part about like being a coach because yeah, there are some people it's like you're begging other players like, bro, just help me out. Like, come on, be here on time just because they can't do that.
We know you're gonna do your thing tonight, but he can't do it because if you do it, we know it's gonna happen. But I get it though, man. But I've never been that guy. I always understood. Like I knew that I was better than some players, and I knew coaches knew that I didn't need all that hoop and
Yeah.
holler. But like, if I'm gonna do it, you're gonna get it too. I'm like, but I ain't do nothing. But now I get it. It's like it's you understand what's understood don't need to be explained. So I get it.
Well, and I think that that's like I think like the art of coaching and good coaching has become like more and more of like a conversation today because like I think that literally is the art of good coaching. It's like knowing who you can yell at and who you can't, and know who you can motivate, knowing who the rah-rah speech before a game's going to work for. And some athletes are like, bro, cut that shit out. Like, let's just
Yeah,
put,
let's
let's
go,
just
man.
go.
Like,
Yeah.
some people didn't like Ray Lewis in the locker room. I loved it. Like, bro, I've been watching Ray Lewis since I was a kid. Give these speeches on TV. And now I'm in the locker room. I'm like,
In
oh, I'm
person.
not even playing this game. Like, I'm in the sweat. So I'm like, oh, if I was playing this game. But some guys be like, oh my God, bro. But like, I'm like, what? This is Ray Lewis. They be like, blow the whistle, man.
I don't even need pads for this game. Let's just fucking
Yeah.
roll.
Oh,
Oh, let's go back to like why was the pandemic? Like why was that such a like a blessing? I think those are the words of like
man.
at that time.
So I don't know, bro. All my life, man, I've been like kind of like timid and scared because I was the youngest. I was the youngest of my three siblings. I feel like I don't know. I was just a timid, scary guy, but I wasn't like at everything like bad horror movies. I was scared of the dark. I was scared of a lot of stuff because I was a baby. But man, and I've always been the one that I'm a perfectionist to a certain extent, and I worry about failing. because I hate that feeling of, but I realized the when I finished playing ball, like that little moment in my life where I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
was the blessing because I went in there. I went on I did a fast. Cut off bad people. I just let a lot of stuff go, and man, like I've been getting blessed to this day for doing that. So the pandemic. So I'm in the league office. I'm like, are they gonna hire me? Are they not gonna hire me? What's gonna happen? And hear about this disease coming. They gonna shut the world down. I'm like, oh, so I had nowhere to go, so I'm not going back home. Like that's the last thing I'll do. I'd die if I go back home. But I didn't know what to expect. So thank God University of Tennessee came through and I was supposed to start in May. But I was literally in Vegas, and I'm gonna get to the story. I was literally in Vegas when they shut down the NBA game. Who was at the about to watch the game? And we was at a player pathway summit in the NFL, one of our last events. And I remember they canceled the NBA game because they had canceled one before the day before the college game. And I remember they canceled the NBA game, and like it was the party was it was a great little cocktail hour, and I just started seeing people whispering and people like freaking out. And I look over the balcony, I look at Vegas, it looked like somebody stepped on an ant bed. Everybody was like panicking. So they said, well, y'all can go home if y'all want to. I'm gonna stay in Vegas. Like the airport gonna be crazy. I got a suite for 4 days.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So, anyways, bro, I get back to New York 3 days later, and it's like I am legend. I'm the only one in Times Square, bro. Like took a video. I probably took a video where I was like, wow. But anyway, so I know I had a job. I realized they was gonna let all us go. I knew that was happening because
Yeah.
you know what was gonna happen. So, bro, I ended up. My best friend lived in Tennessee, lived in Clarksville, right outside Nashville. He was in the army. He got this real big ass crib. So I was like, hey, bro, I'll start my job well, first of all, I'm moving from New York, so I'm about to send all my stuff to your house. I'll get it when I can.
Yeah.
That turned into, hey, bro, so they said I can't start until till July. And it's April. I'm like, hey, bro, I need somewhere to stay, man, until I can find my apartment. Like, he said, no, you good. And then our other best friend, he was about to go to Korea, but they shut that down. So it was three of us in the house and his son. Man, when I tell you, bro, that was the first time in my life where I went to bed without setting an alarm every day. I woke up and went jogging and ate bad food, grilled out, and like I did a certificate that I got from the University of Florida. I went on nature walks. We grilled out like every other day. We was bored. So, but my dog I was staying with, he was ending up he just started his new job. It was a remote job, and I remember him doing all the onboarding stuff for that. And then the other guy who was in the army, my boy Allen, he just slept and laid around all day because he didn't know when they gonna call him up. So dog, that's probably the best time I had in my life. I like, bro, life slowed down and like none of my parents got sick, none of my family got sick. Well, a couple people got COVID. It wasn't serious.
Right.
Like, bro, that was my first time that I was on autopilot, bro, for like 2 months. And from middle school, because middle school is football, track, baseball, all this stuff. And then in high school, it was football season, workout, and I had a job. I played basketball, but I didn't like basketball. So that's been and then in college, that's year round. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's year round. And then NFL, that's damn near year round. So, bro, like from the time I was 13, I've been doing this. And then recruiting kicked off too. So that was always but that
Right.
was the first time I just was on autopilot. I got to run and work out every morning. I got to pray. I got to just chill, dog. I took naps. Oh, I took so many naps. But I took time finding my apartment in Knoxville. I got acclimated and all that. So like, man, I've been, man, I would say, bro, since 2017, 18, when I stopped playing ball and I like did that fast, like God has been like blessing me, dog. So I was like that moment turned into a scary moment to like, well, I can't go to work, so I can't start. So, I worked on my certificate every day, and I just had a good time, bro. Everything was on slow motion.
Well, it sounds like it worked. You actually got a chance to like work on you.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Like you got a chance to like I call it like going inner almost. Like you got a
Right.
like chance to think. You got a chance to like okay, like what matters to me? And it's funny that you tell somebody because like I'm like, dude, I vibe with the whole like take a nature walk or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I meditated, man. I was doing all bro, I was on YouTube. This is when I started my super plant-based stuff. I'm like the chicken sandwich. That was the craze. People fight over chicken. I cooked my own. And I cooked for everybody in the house, like, cause I was just bored. And we'll grill out, like we'll try stuff, man. It was fun, bro.
But it's like you tell somebody to do that and they're like, yeah, dude, like whatever. That's not gonna like help, right? Like somebody that like is just running and gunning like 24/7 or stressed or anxious or whatever. But it's interesting like how those little like you just took time for you. You were forced to
And
here.
I'm a big reader, and this is probably the highlight of one of my things too. I read Mike Tyson's book, 400 pages, very small writing, but man, I was glued to that book. And I watched all of Breaking Bad. I watched every show that everybody thought I needed to watch. I watched all the shows. Like, bro, dude, it was fun. I did like 30 podcasts. People was having all kind of podcasts and stuff. So I was living it up, man. I was building I was professional with my stuff, but I was also just hanging out, man. So it was
Yeah. What made you mentioned like starting to like cut some people off. What was kind of the catalyst to starting to get rid of poor a
I
bad
got you.
environment? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a bad environment. I just realized I wasn't playing ball no more, so everybody didn't treat me or look at me the same as they did when I did play ball. Even from the relationship I was in, I just outgrew that stuff, man. It was like I realized how much I didn't like drama, how much because football, it was easy for me to put it away because I got to focus on football. We'll argue about this
Yeah.
later, or we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
Or it just it's family members, bro. It's a lot. I just realized the day I got cut from the Cardinals, it kind of like happened instantly because I remember we went out then at the cut day, we went out or whatnot. I felt like all the money I had was like gone, but it wasn't. But it was just like it was just a weird. And I remember like we was out that night, and then I remember take a photo with a pretty prominent boxer, one of my teammates, and they're like people that they was with. And I had played with this boxers, both of his brothers in the league. And the guy took the photo of me and my friend, the boxer, and the other guy, and like they cropped me out of it.
Damn.
So like I left. I was like, all right, bro. When I said, hey, send me the photo, man, send me the photo, like it just had them. And I was like, yo, I was like, wow. And I knew this dude before I knew my friend. I was like, wow. But it was on the promoter guy. So I was like, all right. So I don't know. That night stuck with me, bro. And I just realized that, the people that I was hanging with, it didn't mean me no good. And I just really dive into meditation during that time when I was figuring out my next move. And that kind of saved me, dog. Like
How'd you
meditation.
get into I want to go down that rabbit hole because I'm a big time meditator, like every morning, 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, like what
40.
like
I ain't got to 40 yet.
it now it's been like it was a process for sure.
Yeah.
But like what was like what to sent you down that rabbit hole to be able to get into that? Because you can't tell a lot of people to meditate, right? They're like they think of
Yeah,
like
what I
sitting in a
can't
room with like
bro,
this.
like no, it's man, it was so this is when bro, I ain't have no degree. I just had football, man. I ain't like I had to when I got cut from the Cardinals before I went to play a Canadian league, I had no degree. So bro, I go from making about $10,000, $15,000 a week to making $10 an hour, bro. You talking about man,
Humbling.
I cried every night going home. Because everybody's like, don't you play for the Cardinals? Like, what you doing here? Well, I need a job, bro. I gotta pay bills, man. I can't spend all my money. I gotta pay bills, man. And bro, it was but that kind of put a strain on the person I was dealing with at the time. Because I noticed that she only saw me for like what my status
Uh-huh.
was, and that hurt my
Uh-huh.
heart, man. And it's like after that, like I kind of was turned off from that. But I went in there, man. It's like so I always been like a guy. I love like vitamins, eating because my dad was like that. Like I learned that from my dad, like Bruce Lee, all that stuff, man. So Man, I don't know. Like, I grew up in the church. I grew up Christian and all that. But like, bro, it's kind of like I didn't hear God, bro. I never heard God from that aspect. When I started hearing God talk to me, is when I sat my ass down
Yeah.
and like, and I started just meditating. And I was watching this guy named Ralph Smart. I watched his stuff. He was talking about changing your diet, eating right, and podcasting had just started like bustling in. So like podcasts saved my life, like Drink Champs. So I'm a big hip hop head. So I love music. I love old school music. So hearing those guys' story and then learning about everybody else's podcast. But I found Raph was talking about meditating. I was like, all right, I'll meditate. So I always did it here and there when I went to classes, but I started doing that guided meditation, bro.
Yeah.
And that like changed my life. And then when I just it was like stuff was like crumbling around me and I was so at peace with it. I was like, it's gonna work out. Like as long as I had my car, as long as I had I can make money, bro. Like I don't bought so many shoes, I sold shoes and all that, man. I hustled my ass off until I got my degree and then I went to Canadian League. But I felt like that was needed because, I feel like God was saying that took my time. That bro has taken his time. So like it's kind of like that teddy bear, that person holding that teddy bear and God, like, if you just give me the damn teddy bear, I'm the type of dude is like, no, I want to see this teddy bear you got before I give up mine because you grew up
Yep.
poverty and all that. So just learning to let that stuff go. And I still deal with that some now because I'm still a sneakerhead, but like I don't want to keep those shoes, but or just that hoarding mentality, man. But that meditation, bro, it helped me learn, slow my breathing down. It helped me to be learn my vision was like it helped me to words of affirmation. It just helped me a whole lot, man. I realized my life starting to change. It started to change, and everything that I wanted, I'm watching it happen, dog. I'm like, oh, it's right there. Or it's like, just stay in your zen, man. And people think that, oh, it don't happen like that. Yeah, you gotta put the work in, but like, how you gonna know what to work for if you ain't got the vision for it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I tell people all the time, man, if you just sit down and meditate on, not saying sit down like llama, 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 llama,
Yeah.
writing it down every day. That's meditating on it. How I talk about meditate on the word of God, like, bro, write your stuff down and read it every night. That's meditating. Or when you stopping and having and you thinking about what you'll eat for dinner, that's meditating. People think I'm sitting in this room like a monk. Like, no, bro. No, that's years and years of them doing that. I do it through guided meditation, or I just say I'll tell like in that whole dark area when I was figuring out my life. I remember like I had like a really bad day. Like I got turned down for some stuff, and I'm just like, how I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. So I remember like I said this very long, I was angry, I was crying, and I said this very long prayer about what I wanted in my life, how I wanted it done, like what did I want to do, and all that. Cause I was reading all these books, Think and Grow Rich and all. No, I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad because somebody tried to get me to sell Amway. I said multi marketing, whatever that stuff's called. And I'm like, man, I ain't making no money off this stuff, but that
MLM. Yeah.
yeah, but that book stuck with me. So, but I'm thinking like, and I'm driving through Arizona. I'm like, one day I'm gonna get one of these houses. I'm about to sign my big contract. It never happened. That's another story in its own. So I'm driving around seeing these houses that I was gonna buy that I was that close to buying it, but football gone. How I'm gonna do it now? But like I had that vision, bro. Like that I was driving Uber, man. I was driving Uber, but like I saw what I wanted, man. So I was mad. I had a bad day. I was really mad. I was packing up my crib before I went back to Clemson and finish school. And I kind of just laid out what I wanted in my life, bro. How I want my family, how I want my money, my career, like how I want to be perceived. I just said it all out. I'm boo-hooing when I'm doing this prayer. And then after that, I told her I ain't gonna beg you no more. I ain't gonna do X, Y, and Z. I'm just gonna move like it's gonna happen. And if it don't happen, then I don't know what else you want me to do. But I'm gonna try. And I shut up crying. I'll stop complaining. I know complain. I just stopped like being scared, bro. And I just like I wasn't scared to do the internships. I wasn't scared to like do the dirty work, man. So But I felt like once I did that and I did that fast, like, bro, I felt like God was like, all right, okay, like, I see you. And
Yeah.
then like I got the internship at the league office. Bro, I'm in the league office, man. Like I'm in New York in Times Square. My crib is like 30 floors up, like Bill Burr and Gary
Damn.
Busey and
Yeah.
like JB Smooth is like my neighbors, bro. Like, and they looking at me like, oh my God, what's up? I'm like, bro, do you know who
No,
you?
what is up?
Yeah. I'm going on the roof to go chill out on the roof, and I'm seeing like Times Square, man. It's like, bro, it's like, but then I'm doing the stuff that I want to do with the group I had with Darrell Young, Usama Young, Shakina, John Mark, and our little player engagement group at the league office. We were tight, man, and they groomed me. They like groomed me, dog. So I was blessed, dog. I was like, wow, I'm traveling. I'm speaking to NFL teams as like they boss because they're like, I'm working in the league. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Then I'm seeing coaches that like was like, cut me. He was like, oh, they like, what's up, big dog? Like, man, it's cool, man. I ain't tripping. Like, they was like, everything all right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good. But them seeing me, like, say how proud they was of me, man. So I just realized, bro, in that moment, like you said, I went enter, man. I said that prayer that day, bro, and I meant that, and I felt that. But that's when I say I grew up in the church, and I love God, all that. But like that's when I started hearing God's voice when I sat down and I shut up and I just worked.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people too, it's funny, kind of going back to like when you were talking about like a lot of people confuse like meditation, manifesting, like whatever you want to call it, of like sitting and doing nothing. And I'm like, that is so the opposite.
I don't know.
Like you said, is to sit down and write down the things out every single day. That takes work, right? And so it's like, and I tell athletes all the time, I go, to do if you were guaranteed a national title or you were guaranteed to go to the draft and all you had to do was 30 minutes of conditioning at the end of practice every day, you would do that no problem, right? Like you're just like, okay, whatever, that's physical. I said the hardest thing I can make you do is sit down 20 minutes alone in a dark room and don't move and just think. And they're like, yeah, that'd be pretty hard. I'm like, yeah. And that's the hard work that it takes. It's the time to know and sit down what you're going to actually pray about, right? Like not just like, thanks God, I'm like super grateful for today and thanks for the food and like the opportunity, right? Like
I know it fits, but I'm so past that, bro. Like, God know, man, like, bro, like, thank you for not letting me go sideways when I could have went sideways. Thank you for blessing me with that, with this person who helped boost my career. Or just thank you, Lord, for showing me the proper way to eat food so I won't have diseases.
yeah,
How
yeah,
about that?
yeah. And I think that a lot of people they don't again, they just again they think of meditation as like the Zen in a dark room that just sits for days and does nothing and things pop up in their life. I'm like, no, that's not really the way it works because at some point you do have to get out and you have to cut the person off, right? That's hard work, right? To
Mhm.
cut the person out
Well,
of
not
your
for me. I'm Sagittarius. But I get what you're saying, though, man.
Yeah. So I get it. I get it. Awesome, man. Okay, last question. Want to be respectful.
Good. We got about 15 more minutes.
15. Good. Okay. All right, then we'll keep rolling for a minute. So for you, like what is you talk about visions, you talk about dreams and things like that. Like as you've kind of grown and developed now, like what are some of your like visions and dreams and upcoming things? Is it continue to, pour into the college athlete side of things? Do you want to get more? Do you want to do something bigger? Like, I think of somebody like Ed, right? Like that was in player development, was like, I want bigger impact. And I was like, I knew I couldn't do this at one school. And so it's like I wanted to branch out. I guess generically, what are some of those kind of like dreams and visions for you?
First off, man, like that dude Ed, man, he's been a silver lining in a lot of guys like my life. Like when I was about to go interview for the UNC Charlotte job, kept seeing this Ed Jones dude pop up on LinkedIn a lot. I'm like, so I'm a podcast dude. And check this out. When I was in Knoxville, I was an intern, so I had to, I had to hustle up ways to get more money on the side and still be available. So, bro, I was giving blood, I was giving plasma. Man, I'm in that mother about sleep, kind of like giving plasma. But like listening to Ed Jones doing other people's podcasts, and all right, so I need to do that in this role. All right, boom. But anyway, to your point, man, Ed is Ed's a goat, bro. Like he's man,
I've
dude.
called him as I've like
Godfather of player
The
development.
Godfather, yes, like literally the Godfather.
Man. But for me, bro, the impact I want to make, because I am such a like, I'm so into like the health side. Not like I'm a like chase you around and tell you what you eating, but like, bro, everybody always talks about, in the black community, man, like, oh, this is hereditary. No, it's not. It's your habit that's hereditary. So like I'm into like plant-based medicine, like, the proper way to eat to help you, be the great athlete, or the think have an accurate think, or just where I'm from. Like I always want to put a Whole Foods in my hometown. Like because
Yeah.
I understand the value of, if I could feed the brain of your body, which is your stomach, is the brain of your body, because it's gonna hear before the brain does. Like if I could help that, then I could help change the mindset. So I just want my people, just people in general, understand like the healthier. And yeah, I want people to understand moderation,
Yep.
because yeah, I love wings, I love steak, I love all that, but I do eat pretty plant-based throughout the week. And that helps my mental, man. That helps my spirit. That helps, like, it helps me be a better person. And it helps, and we'll cure a whole lot of stuff if we just ate right. Not just saying you go solely vegan, but if you just ate right and knew, and just take the right vitamins or take the right supplements, like, so for me, I'm happy. I want to be more in that mix. And I am now, because the people around me always ask me, hey bro, I have a cold, what should I take? I help the people. But like I want to be on a massive level. But yeah, I love the spirit of player development and giving guys, what we didn't have when we was playing. But I feel like it's bigger than that. I'm gonna always do that, but I feel like my end goal when I'm like retired and I'm just coaching for fun, or with kids and whatever they want to do. But I'm gonna be preaching that message of, like, eat to live, bro. Because I'm big into, because that I saw how it changed my life. I saw how, like, quick the clarity that I had when I cut those people off, because I was eating right. I understood, even just like, bro, drinking the right amount of water every day, because that's gonna help your body flush out stuff that doesn't be there. Or helping people understand that you don't have to do you don't have to go to chemo to get rid of cancer. You can really get rid of yourself. Your body get rid of it if we give it the right environment and the right foods. But people think, oh, the doctor. Yeah, I get it. Some people bodies are messed up, so they have to, like, mechanically trick their body into getting healthy because they mess it up so much. But like, why
Mm-hmm.
not test it now? Or just stuff like that, man. I just think that we just been misled on so much from our youth, and just the American standard diet. And I just realized, bro, of eating a plant-based diet for 21 days, and how much that changed, and how much the clarity that I heard God's voice. Like I legitimately was like, and the God's voice is basically just your gut, man. That's if you are eating right, bro. Like, you're gonna, like, make the right choices. How you gonna have a righteous thought if you're not eating righteous food?
Yeah.
So I'm into that, man. That, and I feel like that helps everybody live longer, not just my people.
Right. I know it's funny. It's literally my wife and I were talking about this the other day, like, because I like, again, I like vibe with this stuff like hard too. It's like I eat raw garlic every day. I eat, raw ginger and stuff like that. Like
Celery
literally.
juice, or juice some celery and drink celery juice. Man, for men, do you the power of drinking celery juice in the morning, or even taking ashwagandha? Like, that my, I don't give a what level goes up a lot. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about, because I have an issue sometimes with speaking in front of big groups, because sometimes I stutter a little bit, or like I talk fast, I have a southern dialect. But when I take that ashwagandha, bro, I'm like, I own this room. And this is a organic, you can buy it from Walmart for $10.
Yeah.
It helps with not just your stress levels, and it helps with your digestive, your purifying your blood, your thought process. And that one pill, and it comes from the yard, the grass.
Have you done? I haven't done it, but I have a one of my old college teammates, very successful entrepreneur, business owner, deals with a lot of stress. He swears by CBD. I've never done it, but like he swears it helps. Like, I don't know. I guess if he does CBD oil, I don't know. Have you gone down that route? I'm just curious. Like he swears by it. I've never.
No, I never did the CBD portion, but I just feel like I've always just took like lion's mane, like the mushrooms, like the non-psychedelic mushrooms that
Yeah.
help with it. So those things help me with,
A lot of people swear by the psychedelic stuff too.
yeah, 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 no, but I mean,
There's
hey,
actually a lot of study about oh god, because like Rogan's
ketamine.
had several people on there of like how psychedelics are gonna like
But
potentially
I
help.
heard ketamine is a good, because I know in Tennessee, a lot of athletes, a lot of pro athletes go to this doctor for like treatment. They do ketamine. It's like a therapy session. It's like they'll do like it's like a what's the thing you get in the hospital when you for pain? The morphine. It's like that, but you have a therapist in there talking with you, and y'all just talk about your issue, but it helps you relax and it helps you helps everything in your body for that matter. But I know it's a kind of a psychedelic, but nah, bro, like I can say get it how you live. But for me,
Yeah.
the stuff that I think that everybody can walk into the store and buy, like in Whole Foods or sometimes Walmart, I think, if you knowing what you are buying and what you're looking for, you can find it, man. There's so much.
Well, not to go down the rabbit hole, but right, like that is the problem with American society is big pharma. Everybody wants you on medication, right? Like everybody wants you sick, so you have to go pay for the pills.
Yeah,
Everybody wants
yeah,
you sick, so
pure,
you got to go to
yeah,
the doctor, right? They don't want you to
treatment,
figure it out on your own, right? Like
treatment.
we could spend a whole day down that damn rabbit hole. Um, but it's interesting too. It's like curious where I was talking as actually similar conversation with an athlete like this morning about just like because it's hardwired beliefs, right? Like everyone, it's literally I was like one of the examples is, like as you get older, life gets like worse, right? Like once you're past 30, then it's like your glory days are over. And I was just like, I don't know. Like I see so many other people in
That's
their
such a
50s,
bad mindset to have.
right? Like, and I think it's the same thing with like food and everything else, right? It's like this is bad, this is good, and it's like no, it's like there's just a foundation that like if you stick to and implement these things, it's like it's gonna help you. Like, but again, hardwired to going back to the conversation I had with my wife, as I was like, we're so misled. I was like, we were brought up on the food guide pyramid that was like all
It's
grains and
so hot.
breads was like the
Yeah.
staple of our diet. I was like, fruits and veggies were at the top of it with oils and sweets, right? Like, fuck,
People
are we
people
doing?
say people say like I hear people talking about going on the all because people don't understand that fruits are made to detox your body. Veggies are made to build your body. So you can't go wrong with having a people. I'm on the all fruit fast. That's too much sugar. No, it ain't. No, it ain't because you got fiber and it slows down the sugar intake. People like I know people are so big on like you need doctors in this world, but like it's stuff you can do on your own that you should be doing and like eating the right way. I know it's hard because it's how people were raised, man. So to your point, yeah, like I have no issues with doctors and medicine, but like before you go to the doctor, just make sure you checking yourself at the door because like
Yeah,
all medicines was made from plants. They just can't patent the plant. So they make synthetic imitations of the plant, like everybody talk about Pepto Bismol. If you go out there and pick some mint and put it in a club soda or blend it up in the smoothie, then it'll cure that stomach stuff right then. It'll like hangovers and all that stuff, man. So, but I look, I love it, bro. It makes it a bigger lane for me because everybody's not hip to it, but I want to help people in that way. So I want to educate, just as much as I educate athletes on professional development and personal development, that personal development counts as taking care of yourself. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
I always say the greatest relationship is the one between you and you, the inner you and the
mm,
outer you, right? Like I think that
they know when you're telling a lie.
totally 100%.
Right.
I was gonna ask too, with that, a lot of like the food and just taking care of yourself, right? Like you can call it going inner too, is are a lot of the college guys, are they pretty open-minded about it? Or is it split? Is it 50-50? Like how much like pushback or like how much reception do you get from that stuff?
I don't know. I don't too much. I don't. You know how Baba Thomas.
Because if you were 19, would you have been open-minded about
I
it?
wish I would have been.
I know, right?
For the most part, I was, but I come from an environment where I wasn't eating steak every day, or I wasn't eating these extravagant meals every day. Or I could have what I want in my. I didn't come from that, so like for 4 years, I ate. Even in the NFL, I was like, I did my thing. So I don't know, man. I just felt like I wish I would have had an intervention earlier.
Yeah.
That way, I mean, if I would tell myself, if I would have known how to eat the right way and not been fussed at, I probably would still been playing, bro, till I'm like 40. Cause I understand it now. Like I be telling guys like, bro, if you just did this from my stuff, I already know how you gonna move. And I didn't get hurt. I did not get hurt at all playing football. So man, it just if I would have just known about even sleep, bro, like man, dude, sleep. I didn't realize like people, oh, go to bed earlier. Like, like man, sometimes I'm in bed at 9 o'clock. Like,
You know
watching
what's
TV.
you know what's fascinating on last week I had Arkansas's volleyball coach on, and a they're a good team, right? And so he told me, because I was like, what's one of the what's something massive that you've done? And he goes, it actually he learned it through COVID, believe it or not, COVID being a blessing. He goes, I realized that we're such a sleep deprived university. And he goes, we don't do anything in the morning. He goes, we lift at 2:30 and we practice at 3:30. And he goes, for 2 years, he goes, I have the data that our jumps are getting higher as the season goes on. Like he has all the data with it. And I was like, damn, that's fascinating because we're so hardwired that you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you grind, knowing
But
damn well that half that team went to bed at 3 a.m.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but you have to have the discipline enough to like know if I'm going to bed at 5. No, if I'm getting up at like I'm a 5 a.m. guy. I'm gonna live by that.
I'm an early riser too. Yeah.
But I'm going to bed at 8, 10 o'clock. I'm in the bed.
Oh yeah.
I'm not playing
That's
around,
like
man.
the basketball games on like 9:30 here now. But yeah, we'll see that one.
I'm gonna go to lay down. But like, so because I value my mornings, bro, because that's the time I get to be to myself and pray, meditate, cold plunge, workout, and all that stuff before 9 a.m. Where everybody walking in 9 a.m. still with their ugly mugs on. I'm at my desk like, good morning, everyone. Let's go. But I've always been that guy, even in college working out, they be like, bro, shut up. Like, we are still sleepy. Like, you do know we got to run in like 5 minutes, right? So you might as well get into the spirit. But I've always been an early bloomer though, man. But when I'm tired, I'm tired. I get it. But like, bro, I feel like now that my mind is fixated on it, like I'm like craving to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Cause you get
Yeah.
addicted.
Yep. Totally. Last question. All right. If you're in a stadium with 100,000 people and you could leave them with one message, what would your message be?
Mm. The message would be, uh, damn, I saw myself I want to say. But the one message is, bro, like we understand that it's already written. It's just up to you to go whichever way you go, man. The path is gonna follow. But I would say don't worry so much, man. Like it's just me because I spent so much as a kid with my fingers crossed, like hoping and wishing and praying that I don't something. But I feel like all the trials and tribulations, bro, as long as you have a pure heart, you have a vision for what you I always had a vision of what I want to do. I just
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know what I was doing that.
Yeah.
Vision and like you really want it and you really not saying that you're not working hard for it. You might not know how to work hard for it, but you
Yeah.
working hard for something. It's gonna happen, man. And it's never gonna happen the way you picture it's gonna happen. But I would just say, bro, like I was just telling him, man, don't worry, just work and believe and have a vision. I know that's probably what they say in church all the time, but like it's true, man, and it's always gonna work out, but it's never gonna be the way it's never gonna be the way you see it. It's just know that when you will know when you feel it. When you putting your head down and working, man. That's one of the messages I'll give them.
Yeah. Now you stole my word. I was gonna say it always works out. Like I'm just a firm believer. It
Man,
just
but here's the point. I know this is the last one, but like this is what I struggle with, dog. It's like I know it was gonna work out, but why is it not working out the way I it was like Coach Swing always says, you gotta prepare for the opportunity, even if you don't get it. I got a problem with that. Like I got a problem with preparing for something. I feel like I waste my time then. Like Twing said, I prepared to be a head coach before I became a head coach. And I said to myself, whether I get the job or not, I'm gonna be ready. But I'm like, I struggle with that. Like I'm gonna do the work, but like I feel like, well, why would you push me to do that, Lord? And you knew you weren't gonna do it. But then I realized it was doing it for a reason. But I still got a problem with it. I'm just sorry. I'm a complaining. Oh man, but okay, thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. But like, dude, why you having me do the other stuff?
So I would say too is, and this took me my first mentor, I hired, and she like literally changed my life for like forever. I still talk to her to this day when I was 26. And like basically like one of the premises of a lot of that, she's like, Ryan, like you can be, do, or have anything. The only reason that you don't is you disallow it. Right. And so
Yeah.
you cut it off. And so it's like, or you don't believe, she goes, at the root of that is you don't believe you're worthy enough of having it. And that's why it never shows up. And so it's like, whenever I have like a poor emotion behind something is like I go to the root of it and I'm always like, okay, like, do I actually think I'm valuable enough to have that? And if I really get honest with myself, it's like, if I didn't have the money, if I didn't have the relationship, if I didn't have the job, if I didn't have the thing, it would just be at its core. It's like, I don't see myself as worthy enough of having that. And so I have to learn how to allow that person to be able to like flow through me to show up. Like you said, that you can, that I don't give a fuck mentality of showing up in a room that like, hey, like I am like in a non-arrogant way, but like I am superior, right? Like I'm the most
I
powerful
deserve
person in
this.
this
I'm the
room.
best person for this. So here's my thing. This is what I think my issue has been. I know as a kid, your parents might tell you, we're gonna go to the park today, and then they get busy, and then it's like, we're gonna go to the park today. If you ask me again, we ain't going. You be like, it's dark outside, we're not going. Or it's like the NFL, the curse they have on players is like, bro, it's like you be stuck with this mentality. It's like I'm gonna believe it when it's an offer letter or it comes into my hand, because you can say you're our guy, like they told me in Arizona, you're our guy, man. You hey, keep working hard, you're our guy. Like, oh man, it's close, and then they draft two fucking guards. Or go ahead.
Or I was gonna say is like, okay, this is something else like she helped me understand is she goes, it isn't necessarily about what it is you want. It's the essence of what it is that you want. So she goes, you may want a convertible, but the car is not what you want. It's the freedom of the wind blowing in your hair and the feeling of driving down the interstate and the experience that the car gives you. It's not the car that you want. And she goes, so Ryan, you have to be careful. She goes, you're asking for things. You're like the mouse scurrying on the ground. Source is like an eagle above in the sky. You have this vision down here. Source has this view of like, okay, like I know what you're asking for, and I know you think you want the car, but I have something better for you. And if you'll just allow me to give, it's the teddy bear, right? If you'll just allow me to give you the thing, because you don't want that. And so that took me so long to like understand too, because your point, I'm like, no, I want that. And I know I want that.
And I also too, I go back on this, the essence of letting it allow. And I know you want this, but in the midst of him showing you or giving you what's better, you feel like I didn't get what I want, and I still got bills, I still got a spouse, I still so like that creates more worry. It's hard for people to just when you got a family, when you got something you working towards, when you have a means to an end and that what you wanted, and then we don't get it, it's devastating. So I feel like you can like, hey God, you can at least be like, hey bro, I got you, man. Like show me you got me, because I'm the type of dude. I know I got to work on it. I'm like we're gonna change the system. All right, show me what that system was successful at. Or I don't want to know what I'm getting, because I feel like, man, as a go back to a kid, well, I wasn't allowed to make many mistakes. I wasn't allowed to like not go without, because you were so worried about getting scorned and people going to say. So I think that's always that makes it hard for people too. It's like, dang, here I was thinking I'm gonna get this. Now I don't want to do none of this stuff you got for me, Lord. Like you took the thing that I wanted, or I didn't get the thing I wanted, so I don't feel like doing nothing no more. Like it's like a pen just poof my balloon. So now I don't want to work I don't want nothing no more. I don't whatever, dude. And you get into this attitude of like, And we all do. It's like what's
A hundred
I don't
percent.
want that. I don't want that, man. Like that job don't even pay but half my salary, but like you don't realize that whatever way he gonna make for you in that. But that's the hard thing, bro. That's what we all. I'm not saying everybody, but I know I struggled with that for a long time in my life. It's like this team didn't sign me, and then my big dog say, "God got something for you, got something better for you." I'm like, "What? What could be better than this?" And I'm so glad he showed me that the guy showed me better, bro. Because I look at it now, like all that money that my friends in, it ain't worth the you sitting in the lunchroom on Tuesday watching them workout guys in front of you trying to replace you, or mind games and all the stuff that come along with playing in the NFL or just in general, bro. It's like, but now bro, my mindset is a lot more stable. I still have those everyday moments.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
it's like, man, I can't like, bro, I'm good, man. I may have my complaints here and there, but like I'll take this over getting mad and not being signed those couple of times by them teams. And I take this headache over that headache because this headache is a lot more fluid than that headache. Because you might get cut and then you sit at the crib and then you get called for another team for a workout. You get outside for that workout and then they don't see like, bro, what? I killed the workout. Like I'm better than who y'all got now. Like why y'all bring me up here? Like and then you start getting in that mode. Like, bro, it's so man, I'm so happy. And I think going through that, I can help better serve our guys today.
Yeah, it allows you to help emotionally guide them, right? Because what shows up in your life is kind of what you feel, right? If you're angry all the time, it's like you're going to constantly be angry. If you have resentment all the time, you're going to find a lot of things to be like resentment towards. And I feel
Yeah,
like my experience, like with the handful of like pro guys that I've been fortunate to be around, is just like that's the one thing that always comes up, right? Is that at some point there's this level of like resentment. And I'm just like, hey, like you have to be inspired, or you have to be like, I hate to like find grace in every situation. Just that's not my vibe, right? But like there has to be something next that inspires you, right? Like that's what's going to get you up. That's what's going to drive you out. There has to be something that like you have to be excited about, because like in this world that we live in is like that's the beauty about like accomplishing things, because once you accomplish something, you realize that you're capable of more. And so I had an athlete ask me one time, she was like a year and a half in working with me, and she goes, but Ryan, when does it end? And I was like, it doesn't. And like that's the fun part about it, because like you never stop growing. So it's like you make $1,000 and then you're like, could I make two? And then you
yeah.
make two and you're like, could I make
But you
five?
gotta
Right.
be careful with that one though, because that could. But like to your point, and I'm gonna shut up. But like, bro, man, you said something. I know I was always pray for money and freedom away from my situation not growing. Like, I didn't have a bad childhood, but like, bro, like everybody want to be rich. So it's like, I know the NFL is gonna make me rich and make me popular and make me all these great things. But like now, bro, like now that I've been there, I had the money, I saw the money, I saw what having the money but not having the acumen behind it does. Now, bro, I pray for I remember before I got cut from the Cardinals, that was probably the happiest I've been right before I got cut. But I was getting up, I was happy because I knew I'm about to get this big contract. So every morning I'm waking up every morning. I'm excited to go work out. The strength coach love me. We like bonding. And like I'm in Arizona. It's sunny, it's stuff to do. So I know at 12 o'clock we're done. We're gonna go hang out at the pool. I got a great life. And I was excited every morning to wake up. Like I was so excited to wake up in the morning and jump out of my bed because I knew I'm working, I work for it and it's gonna come. And like, bro, and I it's kind of like the drug addict, chasing that high
Yep.
every
Yep.
time. So, bro, like I pray for stuff. I pray for what I want in my life, like tangible stuff, like career, money, and all that. But like, bro, I pray for that feeling I had for those 4 months of every morning I woke up ready to go work out because I know like, and I pray for that feeling. One of my meditations always talks about, what's a mindset you always want to be in. So like, I always want to wake up in the morning. Like I hear people talking about what gets you out of bed before your alarm. So I'm chasing that again, man. And
Yeah.
that, and I feel like, that's, man, if I can get that, like, I love what I do in the morning. I love my workout, but like I woke up out of the bed in the morning, like I sprung out of bed, like bing, like every day for like 4 months, I was excited. So like I want that feeling back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that one of the things I'll say this too is when you're talking about like sometimes you have to be like careful that I think things are taken away from us or pushed further away from us when we obsess about them and obsess about like in a desperate way. Like I gotta have it, I gotta have it. And so I always use the example. I'm like, if you dated somebody and they woke up every morning and sent you a text that said, "Do you still like me? Do you still like me? Do you still like me? Do you still like me?" Like after about 3 days, you can be like, "I did, but not anymore," right? Like it's annoying. And so it's like when you went like, "I gotta have it, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, I gotta have it." It's like you're just pushing it further and further away. So there's to your point is finding the balance of being overly obsessed with something and hungry, like genuinely excited for it. Like, here we go. Right. And so I think that that's a very fascinating like point that you make there, because I think that I think that's the essence of what everyone wants is it doesn't have to be make $40 million. It could be make $40,000. But if you had that feeling every single day, like, and your bills were taken care of, and like, bro, like who you wouldn't trade the other side, right?
Right.
Now, if you could have both, yeah, you can make that argument. I'll take the
Right.
40 million plus the bing, right? Like, but it's that, it is like one of the biggest things in just in life in general. And then especially like with athletes that like conversations that I have, I'm like, you have to be mindful of that obsession, because when you're desperate for something is like it it's hard. It's very, 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 very hard to, and that's to like when you're talking about like when praying, when you're like, God, give it to me now. Like I need it now. And like demanding and desperate, he's like, all right, like sit there and wait.
Don't do me like that, God, man. I've been working,
uh
bro. Nah, but no, this has been awesome, man. Are you like a life coach, bro?
yeah, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
This has been awesome, man. This has probably been one of the I've been on my podcast and my run lately, bro. But this has been very therapeutic for me, man. I put
Hell
thank
yeah.
you.
No, no, I've enjoyed it. And that's why it's like it's funny. We're recording this too. It's like so many people like email me like setting like the podcast up, and they're like, "All right, man, like what's the what do I need to prepare for?" I'm like, "I have no idea what we're going to talk about." Like I just want it to be I don't want it to be an interview. Like I want it to be a conversation. Like I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be genuine. I want you to be you on the show, not like me like, okay, so tell me how da 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 and what was it like
Tell
to
me
play
about
for
your time at Clemson.
how many times do you get asked that? Like
Tell me
100%.
about your time playing with Ray Lewis. I'm like, bro.
100%.
Whenever I
So
whenever I have my media company, man, I do interviews. I've done before, but like, bro, people be like, man, you're so good with. I'm like, yeah. But man, like, bro, I'm the same way, dog. I don't want to like when an artist drop a book or album, they doing their podcast run. Like, so I like,
hold that thought right there. I'm gonna cut it and let's continue the conversation.
all right, bet.
Appreciate everybody. Till next time. Peace.